Okay, I started recording. Let's get started with today's webinar. A quick confirmation if you all can hear me and view the screen.
Yes, we can hear and we can able to see the screen.
Okay, great. So let's get started. Today's our topic is MySQL connector. It's a Python library, and today's key takeaways are you will learn how to use MySQL in Python, and you will also learn to create connection between database and Python Flask for deployment, and learn how to store values to SQL database directly from our HTML form. After deploying our model, we can use this so that we can store those values directly into database. And let's get going. Today's agenda is introduction to MySQL connector and Flask, features of MySQL connector, and we will see how to install the codes, Python code, and what are the advantages of MySQL connector. Now, this MySQL connector is a Python package, right? And MySQL is a relational database management system. Generally, we call it as RDBMS. Whereas SQL is a structured query language which is used to handle the RDBMS. And here, MySQL connector or Python enables Python program to access MySQL database using an API. We are using this MySQL connector with Python, and then we are going to update our database. That is what we are going to do today. It is written in pure Python and does not have any dependencies except for Python standard libraries. So we don't need any extra libraries or anything. Whatever is there in Python is enough. Somebody is unmuted. Can you please mute yourself, guys? You're disturbing others. We can hear your ringtone and all, please. Okay. Now, what is Flask? Flask is an API of Python that allows us to build a web application. It is used for building web application. It was developed by Armin. And this Flask framework is lighter and easier to use when compared to Django. Django framework is heavier and it has less base code. So you don't have to write much code when it comes to Flask. Implementation also is simple. Now the features of MySQL connector. It is used to access the MySQL database from Python, and we need a database driver for that. Now, MySQL connector or Python is a standardized database driver. So you don't have to again install anything. With this, you are getting the driver as well. It is an official Oracle supported driver to work with MySQL and Python. So MySQL connector is enough. We don't need any extra packages. Let's see what are the things we require before getting started with the connector. So you can open any Python IDE, right? You can use it in Atom, you can use it in Spider, any IDE you choose. And first you do pip install MySQL-connector. This is the first installation you will be doing, the package. Okay. Then we also need to install Flask. Pip install Flask. We are installing 2 packages to get started. Once the installation of these packages is done, right, you can check whether they are installed or not. You just can say import mysql.connector and import Flask. If there is no error and it is showing you the next line in your IDE, that means it is installed. Then we are going to use XAMPP. Okay, so for that, first you have to install XAMPP from Chrome. Go to Chrome, right? It is there in the slideshow. I'll show you. It will come up in the next slides. I will show you how to install XAMPP as well. Go to Chrome and type XAMPP. You will get it. You just have to install it in your system. Now, after that, you will import MySQL connector module. You are creating the connection. So if you want to use these two together, you need to establish a connection. Then you create a cursor. This cursor will be there throughout when the program is running, the cursor will be active. Then you can execute your queries, the SQL queries. Okay, so we will be installing or downloading this version of XAMPP 8.1.1. When you go to Chrome and type this XAMPP, you will get these options to download and download the latest version 8.1.1. Okay. Once the XAMPP is installed, it will open in a Chrome tab like this. Let me show you. XAMPP will open up like this. Okay, so what we do is we open in a new tab to execute our or to run our database. I'll show you how to do this also. When we install, this is how XAMPP will open. Okay, to run MySQL in XAMPP, what I have to do is I have to go to the services app in the system. Okay, and then I have to stop MySQL that is already downloaded in the system. So I'll show you. See, I'm going to the services app and here I see MySQL, right? If it is running, I just have to click, right click on it and then I have to stop it. So I don't want MySQL which is there in the system to run. Okay, then come to XAMPP and start the Apache as well as MySQL. Okay, now we are creating SQL database. For that, we go to Chrome and look for myPMP admin. Just enter myPMP admin. Okay, so you will, here it is, just wait. Like this, go to localhost, myPMP admin, click on that. And it will be opened up like this. Next, we are starting a connection. To start a connection, we have to go to our Python environment. Okay, so let me go to my Spider. This is the code. I won't be able to share the file, so I'm just pasting it in our chat window. You can copy the code, guys. I put it in the chat window. Okay. So here what we are doing is we have already installed Flask. So now we are importing Flask and importing MySQL connector. First, we are trying to establish the connection. Okay, you will have to give host as local host. That means our default one. User, generally it will be root. No password is given. Database, we have to create a database in our XAMPP. Right? I have created a new database. I just clicked on the new and stored the DB1. That is my database one. The same thing I am mentioning it here. DB1 port is 3306. When we open XAMPP, see here, we can see the port as 3306. These details we have to enter for establishing the connection. After connecting, we have to create the cursor, right? Cursor will be running throughout the program. Now, after that, you are giving the app Flask name, and then you want to render template home.html. You are giving the app root, and you are defining a function. In this function, what you are giving is, see, before I explain this, I want to show you what is there in our table. So we have created a connection, but we also need to create the table. This SQL table, we will be updating it. Okay. So to update that, we have to create a table first in our database, which we have created. This is the SQL query which we have written, create table with the fields first name, last name, age, email ID, all these things we are giving and creating a table. Okay, once the table is created, we can use this code. We are updating these fields in the form, in our HTML form. When the user is updating all these names, it will capture those details and it will update in our system to do in our SQL. For that, we are using insert into user underscore data, and this is our table name. We are giving all the fields that need to be updated. And finally, we say connect.commit. When you say commit, it will update the whole thing. And then you want to return those values. Okay, let me run this code. And here in the thing, you should get this link. Let me copy paste that for you guys. You just have to copy this, guys, the HTTP. This is our page. When you copy paste that, this is the display you get. See this? The same thing, whatever is there in the PPT, right? That is what I have copy pasted here. And I got the form, HTML form. Here I'm just giving the name. And when I click on submit, okay, we have opened this, right? Local PMP my admin. When you open, this is how you get the thing. You can see the database as DB1 and the table is user data. Now I have created a record and you can see it here. Himabindu Gattam 40 and I have given my email ID. So when I have entered it in my HTML form, it is reflected here in my SQL. That is what SQL connector, MySQL connector is doing for us. Okay, now this is the code for creating the HTML file, and this is our code that we have written in Python, which I have shared with you in the chat window. Right, we have updated this form and we were able to capture it in our database. Now the advantages of MySQL connector you have seen, right? It is very easy to use and we can maintain the database using Python. Very less code, few lines of code we have written. All that we did was we have established a connection, then a cursor, then we have given a user defined function which was capturing all the details from our HTML form. Finally, we committed it. So only 3 or 4 steps are there and we were able to update our database. Okay, and this library is more beginner friendly, meaning very simple for beginners. You can start using this. So these are all the points from my side, guys. The code is again, yeah, HTML code also is shared. See, look in your chat window. Aniket has shared the HTML code. Because just go up in the chat window, you will find it. Code I shared, Vikas, Python code I shared. Aniket shared the HTML code. Both are given in the chat window. Just scroll up and you will find it.
Ma'am, the code shared by you, it's not complete. It's incompleted code, ma'am. Please check.
Mm,
It's not a full code.
just a second. Whatever rest of it is there, let me just post it for you guys.
The line number 17 are copied. Apart from that
No,
is
no,
not.
what I'm doing is again, I am giving you the entire user defined that updated function also. I am copying
Okay.
and I will put it. Yeah, now you will have everything. Yeah, Hitanshu, I have given the rest of the code. Okay, you all can copy it. Sayali, it will go directly onto YouTube. So you will find it on our YouTube channel. 360 Digit TMG channel is there, right, on YouTube. You will get those there. You will get the recorded videos on YouTube.
Ma'am, I guess again this is not a complete code because just check the last line. It just refer the AG.
Oh my God. Okay, let me do one more time.
Yes, ma'am. This is not the.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Um,
You have to copy from the line number 17.
yeah, what I did was, let me check the chat window once.
Mhm.
Hmm, okay. I did the same thing, but maybe some disconnect.
Yeah, now it's complete.
No, I did the same thing. Maybe something was wrong. Now let's check. I have given from
Yeah.
update. Yeah, now everything is there. From
Thank
line
you.
15, I have repeated, guys. So you all can, in the first code, those 2 lines I repeated again. You can remove that and then start from the definition of the function. Okay, all. Thank you.